So I got a few questions regarding basically the balance between doing what I've done with music and having a full-time job that I had for a long time. So there are kind of three separate questions. The first one being, how did I begin and sustain a music career as well as improve on my craft while working? And second part of it, how much time a week or day do you think I should be spending on my music with a full-time job? And then another question, which is, what do you have to say to the musician who wants to be doing what I'm doing and has to work 70 hours a week? So obviously, it shouldn't be any surprise that it's not easy to balance all those things. Regarding having a regular full-time job and starting to build and sustain this music thing, it's all about priorities. So, I said, hey, I've got to work my 40 hours. I'm going to do that. I've got to spend time with my family, my wife, my kids. I'm going to do that. I said, okay, after those things, how much time is left? And so basically, I tried to fill up as much of that time as possible with music. So that meant sacrificing, watching TV. It meant sacrificing spending time with friends at some points. It was getting up early in the morning before work and doing things, or spending weekends. So really, it's just about time management. And regarding how much time should someone like you be spending on music, I would say, if this is really what you want to do, I don't know if your goal is to do it full time like I'm doing. That's always been my goal. Maybe it isn't, but if it is, I say do what you need to do to make your life work the way it is, to make the money that you need. And then any time above that you have, really think about how it's being spent, and really think about things you might sacrifice in order to do music. So my basic answer to your question, how much time do you need to spend, I say as much time as possible, while still doing the things that you need to do. And regarding the person who says, I'm working 70 hours a week and don't have a lot of time to do this, how do I do it? I say, like I've been saying, if music is something that you're really passionate about, that you really want to do, then I don't know if you can start it when you're having to work 70 hours a week at another job. I had to make some interesting sacrifices in order to do this. One of them being that I sold my house in order to move somewhere cheaper so that I wouldn't have to depend as much on my salary for my full-time job. So maybe instead of working 70 hours a week, you need to find a different job or a different situation where you don't have to work 70 hours. And maybe that means you won't be bringing in as much money, which means maybe you should move somewhere else where you don't have to pay as much rent or mortgage, that type of thing. So, I hope you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying. It really just depends on how hard you want to work at it. I just had to stack my priorities, and make music was basically the number 3 priority when I had a full-time job. I had to spend time with my family. I had to do my full-time job in order for things to work out. But anything on top of that, I just really had to consider whether it was time well spent or not. So, think about that. Think about your priorities. Think about, creative life changes that you might want or need to make in order to make it happen. It feels good to get some of those things off your shoulders if you don't really need them there, and then spend a lot more time on music. That's really the only way you're going to be able to get there, if that's what your goal is.